Good day, I'm Guillaume Roels, and today I would like to talk about the efficiency of supply contracts. A supply chain is constituted of different companies working together for delivering a product on the market. Because each company pursues its own objectives, there are many factors in the supply chain that are not optimized. In particular, it's very common that the partners underinvest in capacity. For instance, the notebook industry is currently experiencing a shortage in its main components, such as LCD, panels, hard drives, and so on. As a result, Dell is unable to meet demand, and they had to delay their shipments until at least November. So what's going on exactly? Well, because each partner optimizes locally, the global optimum of the supply chain is typically not attained. If Dell had full control on their manufacturing, well, they would avoid these shortages, especially given the pressure that they face right now for gaining market share. Economists call this phenomenon double marginalization, but we, in operations, tend to view it as a problem of risk exposure. Smart contracts can help improve supply chain efficiency. That way, companies can coordinate their decisions in order to increase the supply chain profits. It's basically a win-win situation. The idea is to spread the risk over the different supply chain partners so as to make a better decision from the supply chain point of view, to increase profits and to be better able to match supply with demand. Up to 1998, the video rental stores used to purchase the copies of the newly released movies at about $65. Because of this high purchase price, they would hold a very limited amount of inventory, and customer satisfaction was extremely low. In 1998, Blockbuster signed a revenue-sharing agreement with the movie studios. The purchase price of the new movies was dropped from $65 to $6. In return, Blockbuster would give 40% of their revenue to the movie studios. Because of this lower price, Blockbuster then decided to hold a much larger amount of inventory. Customer satisfaction went up, boosting their revenues and market share. Even today, Netflix is also using revenue-sharing agreements with the movie studios. And in fact, even this year, Sony signed a revenue-sharing agreement with Rentrack in order to promote the Blu-ray technology. But there is a catch. These contracts are typically very difficult to implement. Think about the Blockbuster example. How can the movie studios make sure that Blockbuster doesn't cheat about its revenues? As a matter of fact, in 2003, the Walt Disney Company sued Blockbuster, accusing them of cheating of about $120 million of revenues. Well, if these contracts are so difficult to implement, is it really worth it? Can we outweigh the implementation cost by large gains, larger profits for the supply chains? In a research project that I did with Professor Perakis from MIT, I showed that smart contracts can improve supply chain profits by as much as 40%. So the bottom line is, yes, smart contracts can really improve, boosting the supply chain profits. I also show which production policy is the most efficient. In a make-to-stock supply chain, all the inventory risk is pushed downstream to the retailer. In contrast, in a make-to-order supply chain, the inventory risk is spread among the different partners. Therefore, the make-to-order supply chain is more efficient from a risk exposure perspective than the make-to-stock supply chain. I also show that efficiency deteriorates with the number of intermediaries, and this is especially true in an assembly system. But it can be improved with competition, either on the procurement side or on the distribution side. I believe that smart contracts can really help improve supply chain profits by adopting a more collaborative relationship instead of the traditional arm's-length relationship. Like Sony, Netflix, and Blockbuster, there are many companies trying to investigate new ways of contracting with their supply chain partners. Given the shortening of product life cycle and the fiercer competition, it has become essential for companies to adopt a global view of their supply chain.